You walk into a room. The furniture is nice, the surfaces are clean, but the space feels stiff, disjointed, uncomfortable. That lingering discomfort signals a mathematical error rather than a lack of personal style. Our brains register spatial miscalculations long before we notice the individual pieces of furniture. Professional-grade layouts depend on the strict application of spatial proportion, lighting metrics, and pathway logic. This chart plots the financial and physical investment of a design choice on the x-axis against its actual impact on room cohesion on the y-axis. Using this Design ROI Matrix, we can evaluate everything from simply moving a sofa to buying a properly scaled rug. Achieving true comfort requires a specific trade-off, relinquishing the freedom of impulse buying in exchange for rigorous spatial discipline. Let's start with the bottom left of our matrix, layout mistakes that cost exactly $0 to fix. The most common error involves pushing all furniture flat against the perimeter walls to maximize open floor space. This layout creates a dead void in the center of the room. It blocks conversation intimacy and results in an aesthetic that closely resembles a doctor's waiting room. This schematic illustrates the fix. By pulling furniture at least 4 inches from the wall, you establish a conversational zone. Next, account for traffic flow. Primary pathways around seating must maintain a 30-inch minimal width, ensuring you never squeeze past your coffee table. That resolves the horizontal plane. But on the vertical plane, we frequently see artwork hung according to the ceiling height, or centered in the empty void of the upper wall. This diagram illustrates the 57 to 60-inch rule. Hanging artwork so the exact center of the piece sits between 57 and 60 inches from the floor aligns it with the average human eye level and anchors it to the furniture below. Geometric spacing and reliable sightlines dictate human comfort more than the price tag of the decor. Moving up the matrix, we reach Phase 2, purchases that require moderate capital but yield massive structural impact. The most common trap in this category is the area rug. Because large rugs are expensive, buyers often downsize to save money. This causes a postage stamp effect, where a tiny rug sits isolated in the middle of the floor with all the surrounding furniture legs floating off its edges. This schematic shows how to properly scale a room. The rug must be large enough for at least the front legs of every major piece of furniture to rest firmly inside its boundary. This unifies separate chairs and sofas into a single zone. The other modern investment trap is an invisible atmosphere killer, relying exclusively on builder-grade recessed overhead lighting. When a room relies entirely on a single source of overhead illumination, the resulting downward shadows flatten architectural textures and eliminate your ability to soften the room's mood in the evening. This scorecard tracks the lighting layer audit. A functional room requires a combination of 3 layers at different heights: ambient light from overheads, task lighting from table lamps or sconces, and accent lighting from picture or strip lights. You also have to watch your color temperatures across those layers. Mixing 4000K overheads with 2700K table lamps causes subconscious visual strain. Kelvin is a unit of measurement used to describe the color temperature of a light source, where higher numbers represent cool blue light and lower numbers represent warm yellow light. Investing in proper rug scaling and unified lighting layers establishes the room's perceived volume and warmth, validating the moderate financial cost. Phase 3 deals with the psychological traps of design, specifically the fear of making a mistake, which leads homeowners towards safe choices that ultimately hold the room back. Looking at this comparison, the image on the left shows what happens when you purchase a complete, matching 5-piece furniture suite. While coordinated, it creates a flat, one-dimensional showroom aesthetic. To achieve the depth seen on the right, you must intentionally curate contrasting textures. Mixing different wood tones, metals, and fabrics gives the eye a reason to engage with the space. Another psychological trap is the sunk cost fallacy. This is the habit of keeping a dated or uncomfortable piece of furniture simply because it was expensive years ago. Designing your layout around a flawed anchor piece ensures you will experience daily physical and visual friction. This diagram breaks down the 60-30-10 rule, a mathematical framework you can use when editing old pieces or buying new ones. Exactly 60% of the room is your dominant color, 30% is a secondary color, and 10% is an accent. Achieving a truly cohesive home requires abandoning the safety net of matching sets and the guilt attached to past purchases. Success depends on mathematical balance. Strict execution of a spatial plan creates the cohesion often mistaken for aesthetic talent. This matrix connects segments to action steps. Budget-conscious viewers pull seating 4 inches out and lower art to 57 inches. Safe optimizers break up matching sets and add 2700 Kelvin lighting. Trend chasers enforce 30-inch pathways and scale rugs before buying anything new. Always do the math before you open your wallet. Let proportion and layout override your impulse.